Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. So this is my latest video in the collection of Eyes Wide Shut. In my opinion, the greatest movie ever made by Kubrick. The film has so many hidden layers, so many Easter eggs, so many secrets, so many mysteries yet to be uncovered, guys. Even I've been studying it for 10 years and I still haven't uncovered all the layers and secrets yet. Today we have a very dark and interesting subject matter we will talk about. And the dark and interesting subject matter is whether Bill Harford or Dr. Bill Harford dies in this movie, basically gets sacrificed, and whether he wasn't really, how would you say, lured into the cult. I think he intentionally joined. He was given various different warnings to stop, but he didn't. He kept on going and going and going. He kept on knocking on the door, knocking on the door. I think he intentionally wanted to join the cult, guys. And I think by the end of the movie or beginning of the movie, he gets killed off. And this theory has been going around on Reddit, mainly because I started the thread, to be honest. I started that thread, and I'm going to basically talk about it. And I'm going to give you all the evidence to prove that theory. So without further ado, let's start the show. So we start the shot, this particular shot. I found it strange because Stanley Kubrick uses this shot twice in this movie, and I found it very, very strange as to why. But I'm going to explain in a later video. This is not the scope for this video. But one thing you do notice from this particular video is this person on the left-hand side sitting on the park bench. He is watching, by the looks of it, Bill Harford's and Alice's apartment. And you can see he's just sitting there looking up, which I found a bit strange. And I think this shot was put on purpose by Kubrick, just to tell us that they have been watched by the cult at all times. So let's go to the next shot. So this shot, we see Alice, played by Nicole Kidman. She's about to get undressed, and this is obviously her apartment, or should I say Dr. Bill's apartment. What do we see here? We see shoes, but we see female shoes. These are not male shoes, by the way. We see her shoes. We see a pair of tennis rackets. We see a lampshade, and we see some light. So let's go to the next shot where we see Dr. Bill in the exactly same room, but things are very different. So let's move on. So now we come to the next shot, and we see Dr. Bill here. He's in the same room, but things are very different. Why are they different? We see lots of changes here. We see books on the windowsill. We see a bookshelf on the right. We see men's shoes, not women's shoes. We see men's shoes. We see some golf clubs. We don't see any lampshades, by the way. So this tells us that this is, this is Dr. Bill's area. All of these books are probably his, and they're probably medical books. And you can see these books on the windowsill. All his shoes are there. This whole place is dark. So what does it mean? I mean, first of all, this place is dark. Maybe Stanley Kubrick is trying to tell us that his eyes are wide shut. So what happens when your eyes are wide shut? Things are dark, right? Why would Stanley Kubrick have two different shots of the same room done in two different ways? So as a summary, guys, as a summary, I'm just gonna kind of summarize this and I'm gonna explain why. So in one shot, the room is lit up. You have Alice there. You have all of her shoes. You have some tennis rackets, which do not belong to Bill, by the way, because Bill doesn't play tennis. He obviously plays golf. And we know this because you can see the golf clubs here. And we do know there's someone else that plays tennis, and that is Ziegler. Okay, so they could be Ziegler's rackets. So what happened to all of Dr. Bill's books? All of Dr. Bill's shoes? This room is obviously Dr. Bill's. This is probably Dr. Bill's house because he's the provider of this movie. You know, we know that because Alice says she doesn't work. She just does art. So we have to assume that this is Dr. Bill's house. And we have to assume that this is Dr. Bill's study because we see all of the books there. These are probably medical books. So this is probably Dr. Bill's area. So why do we suddenly start the movie with none of Dr. Bill's belongings in that room? No books, no shoes, no golf clubs. I'll tell you why. It's because he's dead and Alice has taken over the house. So to explain my theory, we have to go all the way to the back of the movie. And at the back of the movie, they have this odd conversation where they give away their daughter to the cult. They basically traffic their daughter. And Dr. Bill is like, so what do we do now? And Alice says, there's only one thing we can do, and that is to F-U-C-K. So a lot of people might think that she's talking about F-U-C-K as in they need to make love, right? That's what a lot of people would assume. Wrong, guys, wrong. She's using the words F-U-C-K. They have obviously joined the cult now, so F-U-C-K means doing it with the cult, doing it at the mansion party, doing the stuff they do in the mansion party, the grotesque stuff that we haven't seen, doing other people, doing strangers, getting involved with grotesque stuff. We're talking about eating flesh, drinking blood, sacrifices. And I believe this is actually the beginning of the movie. And this is the ending of the movie. This shot here is the ending. We start with this shot, but this is the end of the movie, guys. And at the end of the movie, we see all of Dr. Bill's stuff is gone. His golf clubs, his shoes, his belongings, his books. She has moved in to his area, his study. Now she's made it her own. She's put her lampshade there. She's got her shoes there. It looks like some sort of magazine or something. It's obviously hers. And there's a pair of tennis rackets there. And we know who plays tennis is Ziegler. So I think they sacrificed Dr. Bill, guys. And I think Alice and Ziegler are together at the end of the movie. Or not together, but they're doing stuff together. That's the darkness of this movie, and this is how dark this gets. So how do we know Dr. Bill was sacrificed? Let's move on. Let me show you. There are so many clues that Bill got sacrificed in this movie, guys. So this is one of the clues. Ziegler tells Dr. Bill in this particular shot. He says, if I told you who was at the party, I'm not going to tell you who was at the party, but if I told you who was at the party, I don't think you will sleep so well. He was trying to say that his wife was at the party. So imagine knowing your own wife goes to these parties, these mansion parties, and obviously you're not going to sleep so well because she's right next to you. And if she does all the things they do at the party, which include sacrifices and all other grotesque stuff, you would definitely not sleep at night, knowing someone like that is sleeping next to you. And look at this particular shot. And look at Ziegler's face. Look where his arms are. This is a sign of power. This is way Ziegler telling Dr. Bill, we own you. You have no choice but to agree to our demands. We own you. Your life, your soul, your family, they belong to us, and there's nothing you can do about it. And look at Dr. Bill's expression. He knows he's owned. He knows he's sold his soul to these demons. So let's go to the biggest clue that he got killed. The biggest clue, guys. So this is the shot, guys, and obviously it gets very dark here. We know that Alice basically has had a life with the cult from a young age. She has been groomed. She has been part of the SRA programming. We know this because Stanley Kubrick has told us, and he has told us by this particular shot. So this particular shot used to be the first ever movie cover, and I got the original DVD and Blu-ray, and this was the cover. You can believe me, guys, because I've got the cover in front of me right now, and I'm looking at it right now. On the internet, you don't see the HD version, but I can see it right on the cover. But on the cover, see those mirrors on the left? This is a massive mirror, but on the left, you see smaller mirrors. On the left, can you see the smaller mirrors? And each of those smaller mirrors is a portrait of Alice, basically, Nicole Kidman, in all of them. So you're welcome to get the original DVD or Blu-ray. You're welcome to look at it, and it's definitely Nicole Kidman and his reflection on each of these smaller circular mirrors that you see. So if anyone has done some research on SRA and SRA victims, what happens to them? They have multiple personalities, and they have multiple personalities as a way of a coping mechanism for all the trauma that they receive from the SRA programming that they have. So what happens is this SRA programming kicks in, and they turn into different personalities. Sometimes they are drugged up, and it looks like Alice has gone through that, because obviously Stanley Kubrick has shown us from the cover that she is one of those SRA victims, and we know that these SRA victims have hundreds of different personalities, hundreds, and they do it because it's part of their coping mechanism. They cope with their trauma, and we also know that these SRA victims are very psychic. They can tell the future, they can tell the present, and they know things before everyone else does. These are not normal human beings. When a person has gone through that much amount of trauma, they kickstart parts of their brain that ordinary humans cannot. And this part of the brain, is basically very psychic. It knows things that we don't. It also touches into the spirit world, the occult. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't understand, and only trauma victims or victims of SRA will only understand. So we know that Alice here has multiple personalities because Stanley Kubrick has told us. We also know that she's very psychic. So this dream that she's having with when Tom walks in, and when Tom walks in, I should say Dr. Bill really. So when Dr. Bill walks in, she's laughing, and Dr. Bill wakes her up, and she wakes up. and she tells Dr. Bill her dream. She says that there's hundreds of men basically doing her, if you know what I mean, like literally doing her, like Dr. Bill saw at the mansion party, but they were doing his wife. And what's dark about this is at the end of this tale, she says that she basically knows that Dr. Bill is there forced to watch, and she's just laughing at him. She's laughing at his face, basically, while all of these other men are basically doing it with his wife. And I think this is a foreshadow, and I think this is a foreshadow of they have joined. At the end of the movie, we know they have joined the cult. They have given their daughter away, and I think they go to another mansion party, and all of these visions that Alice has seen, and I think it's a foreshadow of what will happen to them. And I think what she dreamt happens to her in real life. And I think Dr. Bill is forced to watch, and I think she laughs at him. She laughs, she laughs at him, and it's almost like when if you look at my other video when I said that Nicole Kidman was at the balcony with Sandor, it makes sense because she's wearing a jester mask with teardrops. So she's happy and she's sad at the same time. So this completely matches what she says. So she's sad, obviously she's being done by hundreds of men, but she's happy, she's laughing at Dr. Bill, she's laughing at his face, she's laughing at the humiliation. And I think he gets killed at this point, he gets sacrificed at the party. And after he gets sacrificed, I think Nicole Kidman gets the house and she redecorates the house in her way. She gets rid of all of Dr. Bill's belongings, his books, his golf club, shoes, clothes, whatever, and that room in the beginning of the movie, which was Dr. Bill's area, his study, is gone. Now she owns it. She owns it because he's gone. He's dead. And that's the tragic story of Dr. Bill, guys. That is a truly tragic story of this movie that Stanley Kubrick was trying to tell us, and a lot of people have missed out. A lot of people don't really understand the deep layers of this movie. He's given us enough clues to tell us that Dr. Bill does end up dead. And before I end this video, guys, let me just round up the last scene here. So this scene was a mystery to a lot of people. People were saying, who put the mask next to Alice? Did some people break in? No, guys, it was Alice herself. She was at the party and she picked up the mask and she bought the mask. And you can see she's been waiting for him. She's facing the mask and she's been waiting for Dr. Bill to come in. And I think this is the point. Dr. Bill came in to confess, but I think this is the point where she actually confesses to him instead. And you can see Dr. Bill here. He is absolutely shocked. He is flabbergasted. He is distraught. He is going through a million emotions here, because I think Alice, his wife, told him everything. Told him about her life as part of the cult. She told him about how they need to give away their daughter to the cult, otherwise they would be dead. She said that we are basically now cattle to the cult for them to do as they please. We are slaves to them. She says that she probably told him about her history of SRA, what they did to her, and they'll probably do to their daughter. So all of these stuff, she's probably telling Dr. Bill. And Dr. Bill has made some serious mistakes as well, guys. He has remember in the mansion party when Red Cloak said to Dr. Bill, "I'm warning you, do not mention this to anyone, otherwise there will be severe consequences for you and your family." Well, guess what? Dr. Bill comes in and mentions it to his wife. So when Red Cloak says do not mention it to anyone, he meant anyone, not even his wife. So what does Dr. Bill do? He mentions it to his wife, and now he has to suffer the consequences. And what are the consequences? Well, Red Cloak did say there will be dire consequences for you and your family, right? So his family, he has to give away his daughter, Helena, to the cult, to be raised similar to Alice, SRA victim. And the dire consequences to Dr. Bill is a sacrifice. And I think they sacrifice him because he told this to his wife. And they obviously don't sacrifice him straight away. They do it via a ritual. And it's a very, very dark movie, guys. And they do it very similar to what Alice dreamt about. And I think they're going to make him watch his wife do hundreds of men in front of him. And they're going to destroy his soul. And then they're going to sacrifice him. And that is his dire consequence of telling his wife that secret. Because Red Cloak did say to him, any promise we make at the mansion party, is basically life or death. You cannot break it. And Dr. Bill knew this, but he still told his wife. Major, major mistake. Tragic mistake. And I think that's what happens, guys. He does not get away at the end of the movie. He gets killed. He gets sacrificed. And that is a tragic story of Dr. Bill. I hope that makes sense, guys. Don't forget to watch my rest of the movies in my Eyes Wide Shut collection. What a movie, guys. What a movie. How dark it is. How many layers. This is what Stanley Kubrick was trying to tell us. He's a genius.